The photos sold a private island, supermodels in the surf, yachts, villas on white sand. A weekend of luxury for the price of a small car. What showed up was a rain-soaked lot of disaster relief tents, cheese sandwiches in styrofoam boxes, and mattresses still wet from the storm. The internet turned it into a joke, spoiled rich kids who paid $12,000 for a sandwich. But the joke buried the real story. Fyre Festival was never really a festival. It was bait, a marketing stunt for something else. Run by a man who had already forged documents to raise $27 million. And when it collapsed, he didn't stop. He committed a second fraud while out on bail, waiting to be sentenced for the first. His name was Billy McFarland. Here is how he built paradise out of nothing, and what the lie actually cost him. Start with the part everyone gets wrong. The festival was not the business. Fyre Festival existed to advertise an app called Fyre Media. The pitch was simple. You tap your phone, you book a celebrity or a musician for your private event, you pay through the platform. Want a rapper at your birthday party? A few taps. The festival was the commercial. A splashy launch to prove the app could summon the famous and the beautiful to a remote island on command. The party was never the product. It was the ad for the product, which means the whole thing was built to be seen, not to work. And nothing was seen more than the orange tile. On a single day, roughly 400 influencers and celebrities posted the exact same image, a plain orange square. At nearly the same moment, Kendall Jenner, Bella Hadid, Emily Ratajkowski, no lineup, no details, just the color and the mystery. It made the entire glamorous world look like it already knew something you didn't. Tickets sold. The illusion of demand created real demand. Kendall Jenner was reportedly paid around $250,000 for one post. None of them disclosed it was an ad. The most convincing part of Fyre was purchased and posted on schedule. The location had a darker sell. The festival was originally set for Norman's Cay, an island in the Bahamas that decades earlier had been a cocaine hub for Carlos Leda of the Medellin cartel. The marketing leaned in, implying this was once Pablo Escobar's private island. The Bahamian government was not amused. They forced McFarland's team to drop the Escobar claim, and Fyre lost the island, relocating to a site with none of the infrastructure the ads had promised. But here is the part that turned a bad party into a federal crime. To pay for any of it, McFarland needed investors, so he lied to them. Court records describe fabricated documents that dramatically inflated Fyre Media's revenue. He claimed the company had earned millions of dollars. In reality, it had brought in under $60,000. On the strength of those forged numbers, he raised more than $27 million. The Instagram photos fooled the ticket buyers. The forged financials fooled the people writing the big checks. Both were fiction. But that one sent him to prison. Behind the scenes, it was chaos. And one moment says it all. Fyre's event producer, Andy King, later described it on camera in the Netflix documentary. Trucks of Evian water were being held by Bahamian customs, and the release fees were enormous. According to King, McFarland asked him to perform oral sex on a customs official to get the water released. King said he showered, drove to the office, and prepared to go through with it, for bottled water for a festival that barely existed anymore. The official, it turned out, simply wanted the money. But that King even considered it tells you the state of things. The luxury on Instagram and the desperation at the dock were the same event. The festival collapsed on arrival in April 2017. In June, McFarland was arrested for wire fraud. Most people think the story ends there. It gets stranger. While out on bail, awaiting sentencing for defrauding investors of tens of millions, McFarland started a second scheme. a company called NYC VIP Access, selling tickets to exclusive events, the Met Gala, Coachella, Burning Man. The events were real. His access to them was not. He was defrauding people all over again, using the same instinct that built Fyre. Sell the fantasy of exclusivity, collect the money, deliver nothing. In October 2018, the total came due. 6 years in federal prison. Ordered to forfeit $26 million. Strip away the memes and the sandwich, and what's left is a man who forged documents to raise $27 million for a festival that was itself just an ad. For an app that barely made 60,000. Everything about Fyre pointed at something that wasn't there. The orange tile pointed to a lineup that didn't exist. The models pointed to an island he couldn't use. The revenue reports pointed to a company that wasn't making money. And it worked for a while on almost everyone. Investors, ticket buyers, the Bahamian laborers who built the site and were never fully paid. McFarland went to prison, came out, and started giving interviews about his comeback. A man sold a picture of paradise, delivered a wet mattress in a storm, and still found people willing to buy the next thing he was selling. And yeah, that's real.